Zmaslany now making his way to the stage. Maslany in the black and white. Expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
He's a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
That's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. That's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a bit.
Great technique. He's
It's 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to Zach's Corner Podcast. And it's your boy, Big Uncle Zach Maslany, chilling here over at the Never Again Studios. And we're stepping up the podcast, people. I was doing this from my house. And now I'm over here at the studio because me and Mike been working together. He's hanging out over here, helping me get this together.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot to him. And yeah, I just wanted to bring it back because on the Now We Go podcast, we talk a lot about a lot of different stuff. And it's just a lot of jibber jabber. And there's three of us and we're talking shit and JM's making fart noises and stuff. So I don't really get to talk about, like, when people hit me up and they're like, yo, talk about this or talk about blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not really the podcast for that. And I don't want to bore people with other stuff. So that's why I have my own podcast. So that's kind of like always our thing. We just do it ourselves. If we don't, you just do your own one if you really want to get your point across. And I encourage other people out there to do a podcast. If you're locally, you might want to hit these guys up. My brother, who was doing my podcast, editing it and all that stuff, is going to be working with Mike. So yeah, we got like a little conglomerate over here, or the firm, as we like to call it, of podcasts. And this is just a way to get the word out and stuff and talk about random shit. So a lot of people I know want to hear me comment on the lockdown situation. And the lockdown's crazy. It's a situation. It really is. But we got to remember, people, do not let the lockdown control your entire life. Like, some people are beating themselves up and throwing themselves against the wall, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a fucking piece of shit. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is crazy." And like, they're just like losing their jobs and all this stuff. And really, man, people just have to. I'm mad too. And I just want to let people know that one of the main reasons why I'm complaining so much and putting up posts on Instagram is because I want people to know that, this is where I stand. And I guess social media is kind of the way to get your point across now, because how else will people hear you unless they're right in front of you? Now, guys like me and JM, we have an opportunity to stand in front of a bunch of people. So I want to make sure that I'm not just spouting out a bunch of random nonsense to people. And, there are a lot of people really listen to me. So, and with that becomes, it's that Batman quote where it says, with great power comes great responsibility. Or no, wait, that's Spider-Man. I don't know. People are going to want to kick my ass for messing up the freaking DC people or, the comic book people. I have no idea who said that, but
Maybe Batman. What did you
yeah,
say?
with great power becomes great responsibility. That might be Superman, or no, whatever. I've been watching Terminator 2, so that's been really cool. I've been really getting more into guns, which is also cool. Spider-Man. Okay, yeah,
Spider-Man.
That's what I thought. Been really getting into guns, so that's cool. So I'm going to go over to Extreme Gun Works. Guy used to, shout out to Frank Cody, used to train with us over at the school. And then he got kind of inspired and opened up his own business. And who would have thought, man, like, gun business started off slow. All of a sudden, lockdowns, pandemics, and random craziness goes around, and everybody's out there buying guns. And I'm more into it now because, they're cool, and it's a way to protect yourself, and that's the truth, And a lot of people are against them. I'm for them, and I think people know that. I'm not walking around with a gun on my hip right now, but I feel like, if things keep getting crazier, I mean, that might be a situation I might have to look into. So. But I don't want to, I'm kind of, I was really nervous of guns when I first started with them too. And now that I'm like learning more about them and stuff, I want to teach my wife about it. I think they're important to understand and be able to, know how to handle. I know when I was a kid, no one really taught me about guns. I never shot any guns until I was with like random people who shot shotguns, but that didn't even, that wasn't like learning about them. That was like doing muzzle loaders in the back of someone's yard, which is not good. So do the proper stuff, go and learn about them, and take it from there. But yeah, just remember about the lockdown situation. I know it's coming, and I know I'm usually pissed off about stuff on the other podcast, but just remember, like the lockdown does not control you. You can still do things even though they say you shouldn't. Like how ridiculous is it they want you to wear a mask inside their house? Now I inside your house. Now I wonder if they're wearing a mask inside their house. Probably not, because they keep catching all these governors, doing exactly what they're telling you not to do. And it's pretty flagrant. Hanging out with, it's just, they just caught the governor of California out at a party, not wearing a mask inside. They're over there. People were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 13 people there. There's 12 people there. So, I mean, same with Pennsylvania. The guy was out, marching with the people with signs that said kill the police and stuff. And he's like, well, I thought that was necessary. In a pandemic? I don't think, if it was really a pandemic, I don't think any of that is necessary. I don't think going out at all. I don't think allowing places to, here's a way that we can save, here's a way we can save businesses, allow them to sell alcohol curbside and just let people buy it. Same with the medical marijuana situation. Like, we'll close these days, but open this day. And now everyone's in the parking lot. Looks like a Snoop Dogg concert. They're leaning in your car. They're throwing bags of weed in your car. It's like, it's just like the world is being run by mental midgets, And I really feel Trump is the only guy. That was the last hope of some bastion of normality. Like the Democratic governors are already shutting down. And believe me, I'm not happy with the way that some of the Republicans are handling it too. There's a lot of people just making a lot of mistakes, man. And just, how about I don't know if you saw if any guys saw the New York governor losing his mind. How crazy was that? He was like, the schools are not closing. The schools are not closing. Guess what? School's closed. So they're going out of, New York shutting down. My wife's a teacher. We always have no idea what's going to happen with her. I own my own business. So if we get shut down, I'm not making money. There's no unemployment for guys who, and I already emailed the PPP loan guy and I was like, hey, can we get some money? What's up with the government? And he's like, as of now, the government doesn't have any money for anybody. And I was like, oh, well, isn't that interesting? So you mean to tell me that I should shut my whole business, forget the masks in the house and the ridiculous Turkey Day, Thanksgiving Day mandates and shutting down all this stuff and not letting people do what they want, forget all that stuff. But now they tell me that I'm supposed to shut down my small business where people pay to come and love coming and thank us and pay us on top of it to come to the school. And then they're not going to give us any money. I don't understand. Now, I'm not for getting the money. I want them to keep the money and just let the people do what they want. If I went back to work and everyone quit, that's on me. Then I have to figure shit out. My business model during a pandemic or a so-called pandemic is not good. I need to go back and reevaluate and get a job. But right now, business is booming. We're taking on some of the best people in the world. There's underground jiu-jitsu camps running in basements all around the country right now. They think they're going to shut people who are healthy down. They're not. And we've been saying it since the beginning. Look at the people who are mandating these mandates. They're some of the most unhealthy people I've ever seen in my entire life. Look at some of these people. The one lady looks like a cross between, do you see the Chicago mayor telling people not to be out, whatever? And then when Biden won, she's out there with a megaphone, screaming into a megaphone, like spitting all over the place. She looks like Beetlejuice. She does. She looks like a cross between the Howard Stern Beetlejuice and the other Beetlejuice. She looks like both Beetlejuices, the real Beetlejuice and then there's the governor from, everybody hates the guy. You saw that thing I sent you yesterday?
Yeah, what was it?
It was the governor of California coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, fuck you guys. And just want to let you know, I'm going to do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And here's a bunch of numbers that don't mean anything, but you guys are screwed. And I'm just going to do whatever I want. And fuck you. Peace. And that was it. And that's pretty much what's going on. He's at some ranch somewhere, you know, and that's what all these guys telling us what to do. It's crazy. The woman is in Pennsylvania. You know, I have to say, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but good Lord, man. Like that person, if you just look at them, look how unhealthy they look. They look like a troll. It's not funny, you know, at some point. Like, look at the one California one where the woman looks like a ghoul. Have you seen that? The woman looks literally like a skeleton. And she looks like she hasn't seen the sun in months, you know, and that's ridiculous. So one thing I didn't bring up on the Now We Go podcast that I did post on my Instagram, I think it's very important for everybody right now, especially if you're trained in martial arts, especially if you're going to be in contact with people and you're going to be living a normal life. You should be doing this anyways, but also very important because I got a big match. We got some big matchups coming up in Texas. I know a lot of our guys are traveling around. I think it's very important that people take vitamin C, right? We got some vitamin C that my wife got me. I'm taking that every day, you know, with food. I'm taking vitamin D. You know, I forget how many, you know, whatever, just look it up. You know, you can buy this shit on Amazon. Just make sure you get the right stuff. No weird additives. Don't get like rainbow colored vitamin D. Just get regular vitamin D. I don't even know if that's a thing. Don't get it at a gas station.
I grab it over at Wegmans.
Yeah, it's perfect. You know, that, you know, take that every day because you don't get, everyone's like always deficient in vitamin D. You should be taking that stuff, right? That zinc is good. And then I have like just a men's like multivitamin thing that I'm taking too, right? So those are the normal things. I don't drink like a protein or anything like that. Just eat a lot of food. I'm trying to get better with that. But if you're going to be traveling, you should be doing that and then really staying hydrated, you know? You could even look into getting IVs over at Dan's Spot, IV Drip or whatever his place is called, where the cryo is that I go to. Like they do IVs there. You can get set up with that IV, man. You know, you get like it's just like after a fight, you know, you want to stay as hydrated as possible. It's hard to drink a lot of water. So, but you can even look up liquid IV. That's got a lot of sugar, but still you just want to stay as hydrated as possible. And that's what we should be telling people. But honestly, if you put that online, they flag it. If you put that shit online saying that helps with coronavirus, they flag it and they want you to take a vaccine. Now they're saying they want you to take vaccines when you before you travel. You're going to have to take vaccines before you go to concerts. You're going to have negative tests if you come back. Listen, I'm going to Texas, and I hate to break it to people, but when I come back, if I feel okay, I'm going back to work. You know, the thing is, they're like, well, you're a super spreader, or you're spreading it all around, and you don't even know you have it. No, you don't know you have it because you have an immune system. That's what I really think. That's what they're like. Well, you could still be sick, but you're not going to get sick like that because your immune system is going to fight it off. So like, yeah, I mean, but that could happen anywhere though. What's the difference between I get it on I mean, the only reason why it's more susceptible when you travel is because you're worn down. You're waking up early. You're not getting a lot of sleep the night before. You're rushing. You're stressed. You know, the airplane, you know, the people are dicks on the airlines. You know, you're sitting next to some freaking communist. He's breathing all over you. He's going when he's eating, and you're like, dude, come on. Then I'm wearing a mask, like I'm wearing 8 masks on the plane. But that's how you get it, though. It's not like the virus was circling around and came through and it went up my nose. That's not how it works. You have to be run down. You have to have a lower immune system. Now, if you do have stuff like, you know, if you have pre-existing conditions or you have something, you might want to stay in. Like I'm traveling all over. I'm not gonna be down, breathing all over my grandparents and my mom and my dad and all that stuff. I'm going to see them and stuff, but I'm going to be smart about it, you know? So no one's acting like it's complete fake news. We know though what's at stake right now. It's like people are using this as a political gain, and it's a complete joke. So anyways, that's the last thing I'll say about it. I will say, though, go check out a Heritage Guild or Extreme Gunworks, especially if they flip this election on some conspiracy shit. But someone, you know what, Mike, get Q on the phone. I want to know what's going on right now. Someone get my boy Q on the phone and tell us if we're going to war or what's going to happen, you know, because if Biden becomes president, it's going to be fine. People are going to be pissed and they're going to push all this weird shit. But if they flip it back for Trump, yeah, it will be better for the people, I think. You know, business-wise and everything, but I think things are going to get insane. I think people are going to lose their minds in the street. So what I think people need to be doing is meditating, relaxing, you know, working out, stuff like that. So the fact that they're closing gyms again, I know some gyms are closed till January 1st right now. Can you believe that shit? They already mandated close till January 1st. See ya after Christmas. Now, here's the thing, though. If I had a piece of shit job that I hated, I would like this situation. Like, why couldn't this have happened when I worked construction, when I worked GNS? Why couldn't that have happened? Like when I was living in Steve's basement and I could barely get up for work every morning and I was moving wheelbarrows or I was getting yelled at by customers because guys that I work with were alcoholics. Why couldn't it have happened then? Why does it have to happen now when I actually start getting some steam and I'm doing stuff and I'm, but like, me and Mike talk about and JM and Thor and all the guys that I work with, we're not going to let it stop us. We're just going to have to, I don't just maneuver around. You're going to have to be slimy and just like become the cup and figure some other shit out. I'm glad we got the Finishers Open in. So thank you guys to everybody who helped out with that. Finishers Open 4 was in Maryland. That was huge. And I usually looked at 186 competitors throughout the day. Some people couldn't make it. A lot of people, we did have to give a bunch of refunds for people who said, their jobs that they were in, in an area where someone could have had Corona. So, they did the right thing. And, the jiu-jitsu community smart. No one came to the tournament that was sick. Everybody who was sick stayed home. I told them straight up, even if you don't make it and you're sick and, whatever, we'll give you a refund. Fuck it. I'll give you the money back. We didn't have it in the first place and you got sick and didn't make it. But if you came and competed or if it was that day and you just ghosted me and you're hitting me up now, you're not getting a refund. But if you told me before, like, hey, bro, like my job told me, I'm in contact with someone who had the Rona, if you will, then they didn't come. And that's a smart move. If I had the flu or I had the sniffles, I wouldn't come anyways. Back in the day, they would no one cared. My coach used to get pissed if you took a day off and you were sick. Back in the day when I was fighting, my coach, one of my coaches, Master Tiger Schulman, would tell you, come to class anyways and sweat it out. So you would still come to class and try to participate as much as you can, but you would wear a sweatshirt, you would wear a rash guard, a t-shirt, a hoodie, and then sweatpants over your shorts, and you would go out there and just try to, still shadow box and put the gloves on, and you would just try to sweat it out. Now, back then, you were getting everyone sick, I guess, but I mean, it was a different way of looking at it, It really was. So, with all that hoopla, whatever. You got to take the obstacles when they come. I always keep talking about this book. I'm going to do a giveaway with this book and maybe like a rash guard or something eventually when I get it done. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. And there's so many different things to look into with that. It's a book by Ryan Holiday. He's got a bunch of books. A lot of you guys already know about him, but check him out. I'll listen to it every now and then. It's about like the ancient Stoics, and it is really good. It just gives you motivation. Sometimes, you got to get off the political shit and you got to get off the, sports and news and, race baiting and, all the gender crap and all the bullshit that they're pushing on people all the time. And they're going to do this and they're going to raise taxes. Forget about all that. Sometimes you just need to go into the motivation. I always have there's like the political, there's the motivation, there's the sports, there's the, and sometimes you just jump into either one. Some people are into video games. Some people are into golfing. Some people's passions are not what they make money doing, which is interesting. That's another aspect of it. But you can do this stuff. Like, I hope I'm inspiring people. A couple people that I'm pumped up about. One, my wife, who's working on, and I am helping her. We're working on a coffee shop that we're still going to put out. It's called Grounds Coffee, so be on the look for that. So she's really working to become an entrepreneur, maybe get out of her, teaching job eventually. Or just continually do that at the same time and just kind of see where it goes. Because that's what you have to do a lot. Juliana Fonseca, she's our photographer for the Finisher Sub Only. She's been with the Finishers Sub Only since number 1, right? And can you believe this, Mike? How many have you been to? We've done 12 Finisher events, pro events, and 4 opens. So that's 16 events. It's pretty crazy. You blink and the time goes fast.
Yeah, I remember when you guys were just getting that rolling,
mm-hmm.
and it was like you did a couple of them, but she was at all of them. I hit her up to come on the podcast. She's super shy,
but
she's like, I don't know how I'll do, and I'm like,
she'll do great. You just got to bust her chops to get her on. That's how a lot of people are, Like she definitely has confidence in herself. You should see some of the pictures. I'm going to send them out to everybody and, email blast them and everything. The pictures are insane, dude. There's so many good ones. She took thousands of pictures. It's crazy.
She always captures JM perfectly.
I know, yeah.
He always looks like a lunatic.
Yeah. He looks like that picture with the glasses. He looks like the Joker. It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always gets good candid shots of us, which are really cool. So she, I'm just trying to work with her all the time, and she's very thankful. So and she's getting the ball moving. She's posting stuff a lot on Instagram, and that's the main thing. I was just talking to Bryant Pabon today. He's my strength conditioning coach, and I'm getting yoked over here. Bryant's been, we did a half-hour arm routine today, or like upper body thing, was insane. So, and he's really becoming like the finisher strength and conditioning coach. And I get to work with them twice a week, and we have a whole bunch of workout equipment in the back of the school, so I can work out there, which is really cool. So spoiled in that aspect. But once the quarantines hit, we had to get our own equipment. So if you're looking at gym equipment, I mean, you better look around for stuff. Facebook Marketplace, bust stuff out of your, grandpa's old weight bench, that's made out of sand or something like that from the back, find that, because there's not much. You could look up Titan, obviously Rogue, but, a lot of their stuff is sold out. But yeah, Brian too, I was telling him, he's like, sometimes he struggles with putting stuff out that's not perfect. I'm like, dude, just throw shit out. Like, I just threw up a video of me competing from one of the finishers, just for no reason, and sometimes you don't want to gloat too much, but you got to just, in our industry and in the workout industry, you got to just keep putting shit up. Jiu-jitsu especially, you just got to keep, podcast, all this stuff. You got to just keep dropping shit over and over and over again. Just put stuff up and just see where it goes. There's a new thing out. I don't know if you heard of this, called YouTube Shorts. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's a YouTube short. I don't know if it's really a new thing, but like maybe the guy was just saying, put up like a 1 minute thing and you tag YouTube short, and there's like a whole section for like 1 minute, like short videos, and like some of them go viral. So I'm going to look into that.
Like they'll make it more like Instagram, putting up the minute video.
Yeah. And you can do that's an easy for like jiu-jitsu hacks. Like, shout out to Brandon McCaffrey. He already has like a jiu-jitsu hack thing, but I mean, I'll just show like some of the moves that I already been putting up. And, just, you can do them in cool ways. Put a little, like, for those of you guys who are getting into YouTube, like, you're like, guys will be like, well, I only have like 12 followers. I'm like, so what? You got to build it somehow. You never know what's going to take off. You just got to keep putting stuff out there and just let it rip. I always tell lately, and I've been saying this for a long time, those of you guys who watch sports, you got to be like Brett Favre. Brett Favre is a quarterback you guys don't know, is addicted to pain pills. And he played like every game, never sat a game out for like 18 years or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not 18. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. Maybe 16, but some ungodly amount, which football, and nowadays people are just, knees are getting blown out. They're getting KO'd and everything. I hope he's going to be fine. He doesn't end up being like a, Junior Seau, or like losing his mind later on in life, because sometimes that stuff takes a long time. I don't want to jinx him. And he was taking a lot of pills. But Favre was a nut. He had the mentality in sports that a lot of people don't have. Like you do one mistake and you lose a match, and then you're disheartened and you don't want to do it anymore. But there are some guys who will come out there and they will just keep throwing picks.
Yeah.
Now granted, there is a gray area where if you're just getting mobbed every time, then obviously you need to go back to the drawing board and really like maybe take 6 months to a year off or something, or take some time and like reevaluate your situation. Like, what can you do to improve that you're not doing, that you're going out there and you're not caring about losing, but you're getting killed every time? That's not good either. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like, you just go out there and you're doing really good and you're so close and you get beat. Or like you were hanging in there for a minute and you just made one little mistake. Okay, let me go back and fix it. But if you keep getting hit with the same thing, obviously that's not good either. But if Brett Favre, he would go out there in big games and just take chances. And sometimes he would lose big, and, a guy would pick it off and run it back for a touchdown. And he would go back out there and he wouldn't hesitate. He wouldn't hesitate to like pull the trigger again. He would just throw it just as fast and hard and take just as much of a chance. And, I don't know what the stats are, but there were years I know where he would lead the league in touchdowns, but he'd also lead the league in interceptions.
He was super fun to watch. He also is a total badass. Like, I think he lost his dad to cancer. Mm-hmm. And then the day, it was either his dad or his mom. And then the day that they passed was a Sunday night game.
Oh, okay.
And he still played football.
Yeah.
And he won.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
big
sure.
time. Came out and like had the best game of his life. Like, that dude always went all in. He was a blast to watch.
Yeah, he would just always let it rip. And that's one thing I really liked about Brett Favre, because, and like I said, he would just throwing just throwing interceptions and just not caring, just coming out there and just firing again, just believing in himself and just taking chances, you know. And you don't want to take like crazy chances. Like, you know, sometimes I have to tell our guys, like, slow it down a little bit. Like, don't do unnecessary things that you don't have to, where the higher chance risk of the risk is way higher of you getting injured, and then it is you looking good and having a good performance. Like, you know, I don't compete in open weight tournaments. Like, I don't go against bigger guys. I don't compete anymore anyways. I'm retired, but I don't compete in open weight tournaments because the guys are too big. So like, that's an instance where, like, okay, if I'm like 170, 185, 190 and I've gone against big guys, that's cool. But if I'm like, you know, smaller and, you know, I'm not going to go against bigger guys because there's more of a chance that I'm going to get injured than anything, you know, than I would doing something else. You know what I mean? Like, then going against a guy my own size. So, you know, am I going to win money? No. Am I going to just have a match? Sure. But who cares if I win or lose that one? Like, if I get injured, then I can't continually compete. So, like, that's not a risk I would really take, you know, and the reward isn't as good. So you just pick what you want to do. Do you want to, you know, risk the biscuit on all of this, on this match? Or do you want to just take your time and then, you know, find the right one, you know? So you don't have to do every freaking match. You don't have to do, you know, every single opportunity you get. It's good to turn things down. You notice Grace and Thor, they don't do every match. I got people hit me up all the time, and they only take certain matches, and those are the ones that they need to do. They don't need to do every single match. They do and now, like, Thor, I forget what he's ranked now. He might be like number 7, taking on Wagner Rocha, which is going to go down at the Who's Number 1 in Texas. It's not open to the public and spectators, so only the coaches and stuff. There are some insane matches on that. So if you're into like jiu-jitsu, man, there are some sick ones, right? Especially if you're into the underground, and like a lot of the guys, you know, that compete around the scene. There's some interesting matchups. Gio Martinez versus Cobrina's son, which is really cool. Grace Gundrum is ranked number 2, and Maisa Bastos is ranked number 1. So Grace just got her black belt, and she's already fighting the 2 top girls in the world. She just beat Patty Fontes, and yeah, fighting Bastos. I mean, I'm preparing for that match big time, like thinking about it, watching videos, and you know, just getting Grace ready. JM working out with Grace all the time, and everybody at the school, Thor and Grace training together on Sundays with Amanda Leave and some of the other bigger guys and stronger guys from our school that are helping Thor get ready for Wagner. So, man, things are crazy, dude. It's just, you know, I'm very blessed, and that's one of the reasons why we get mad about the lockdown, because we're just getting some steam. But like I said, the obstacle is the way. We'll figure it out. We're not going to stop. We're just going to keep pushing the bill until, you know, it breaks, and then we have to change course and move the mats to, you know, my grandma's house and roll down there or something. But, you know, the show goes on. We will figure it out. And I think the people who want to quit, they're too ready in the beginning to just raise the white flag. Like, you don't have to do that right away. You can just let things play out, man. Every day sucks because you don't know what's up the next day. So you just got to turn it off and just continually do you. I know there's a lot of people that don't even pay attention to that shit. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you whether you want to listen. You know, again, that's your risk reward. Do I shut it all down, lose everything, or do I keep running it and do the best I can with what we got? So, and we're not forcing, like I said, we're not forcing anyone to do anything. It's on you. You know, and that's what this country used to be all about, was you have the choice and you have the opportunity to do what you want to do. And, you know, when other people who aren't going to follow those rules, but they're going to mandate you do it, and they're going to do it from a big house with, you know, a lot of cars and stuff, where, you know, and hot tubs and, you know, sunrooms and, you know, all types of exotic plants and animals, you're going to get pissed. You're going to get really pissed when people tell you what to do. And, you know, people are working in fucking coal mines and shit, and they're like, dude, I need to go to work every day. So you're going to go to work every day. So it's kind of on you. So if you want to, you know, fold now under pressure and go down and tap out, then you're out, man. That you gave up, you know. But if you want to keep fighting and just, you know, shrimp a little bit more and just get that knee in and then get back and breathe and then throw up some rubber guard and just say, fuck it. And that's where I'm about right now. So fuck it, go for a leg lock. Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up, man. So just keep following us. If anyone's looking locally, if you're looking for mats, I got a whole ton for sale. What my scheme is, what I do is I sell the Fuji mats to you guys for just about the price that they sell them, so you're getting it for the same price and you don't have to pay shipping, and they're used once, and then I just reorder brand new mats for the tournament, which we're probably not going to be able to do till January anyways, because we got to at least know what Biden's going to say if he becomes president. So unless if the deep state wins, we might be locked down for another 4 to 6 after inauguration day. Biden's already like, oh, if I'm president, I'm not president yet, but wear your mask. It's like, uh-oh. People are like, oh, I already talked about it. I don't want to bring it up again, but people, if you voted, if you didn't realize the lockdown situation, you coulda. So I don't know what to even tell you. I don't even know, but you have your head examined or something. Go to the doctor, please. Start taking some ginkgo biloba and just stop watching CNN. There's new, if you want to look at it from another direction, there's all types of new apps and shit. There's all types of things you can watch, but I think that's part of the problem. Nobody wants to look at it from the opposite direction. Everyone wants to just be stifled. How about the Democrats now said they want to get rid of student loans? Now that's good because I got student loans. That's good for me personally. If they just wipe out, 40 grand of each, because that's what they said. The first 40 grand of everyone's student loans will be wiped out. That's great for me because that's pretty much what I got. So if they wipe out student loans, that's great news for me. That's a big win, but I don't think that's a good idea. That's teaching people the wrong lesson, number one. But then my thing is people are like, yeah, they'll just wipe out student loans. Whoa. Who do you think pays for that? That's the number one thing, and that's what my dad used to say all the time. We'd be like, well, why don't we just get another basketball hoop and we'll put it over here and then we'll have a full court basketball hoop. We're just going to have to put some cement in here and we'll be fine. And then my dad would be like, hey, guys, who's going to pay for that? So I should have a shirt. It's just me pointing that says who's going to pay for that. And that's the truth. You got to look at it from that aspect. What do you want to pay for, people? Do you want to pay for that? I don't. I don't want to pay for, I would like my student loans to get, but I don't think everyone else should be paying. I don't think our kids and everyone paying taxes should be paying for. No, there's a way to work it out. Okay. Since when has the government worked anything out that's worked? I'll wait.
Yeah. What about the people who didn't go to school?
Right.
Do I get 40 grand because I didn't go to college?
No. What about the people who just got done?
On.
What about the people who got a really good job and just got done 5 years later? I have friends. Like my buddy Tim and some of my friends that have paid off hundreds of thousands of dollars in fucking student loans. And now they're going to wipe them off. And if that guy, not my friends Tim and Brian, but if those, guys like that were going through a hard time and they found that out, that might push someone over the edge, dude. That might piss someone off, dude. It's just not fair. I'm for what's fair. The fact that I would say I'll pay mine back. But what I'm going to do, though, is now that I'm hearing this shit, I'm going to defer him for a few more months. You better believe that.
Yeah.
Well, I got to do, that's they always give people shit for. I can't believe he didn't even pay taxes. I'm not trying to pay taxes either, people. Get that through your skull. I'm sure you're not either. Hey, why don't you just give up 5% more of your pay and then we'll put it towards other people's taxes? How about that, Jack? So anyways, I don't want to flip out, but I got a lot more stuff to do today, man. But I'm pumped to get this in. I don't even know how long I've been going, maybe a half hour or something.
Yeah, we're creeping on a half hour.
Nice. So yeah, I want to keep the Zach's Corner going. So, and I could just talk about updates at the school and just different things we're talking about all the time. That I don't get to talk about on the Now We Go podcast. So thanks for Mike for doing this, and we're gonna keep stepping up. Eventually, maybe we'll have. If everything works out, and this is what I'm talking about. I'm looking not just in the short term where 4 to 6 weeks from now, get lean, order some more, meat, make sure you got toilet paper, do all that stuff, hit the gun store if you got to, get some ammo real quick, get a bidet. Well, I'm already getting one of those. Hello Tushy, right?
I just looked up, because there's different ones where I don't want to get into a project where I got to change my seat out.
Yeah,
this goes underneath the seat, clips in. Yep. Shoots out. There's one for 35. The one I picked up for 50. You can add the hot water.
Nice. Yeah,
it's wintertime.
That's the one. That's the one that Joey Diaz. Very similar one. Hello Tushy. That's the one. Yeah. There's a promo code. I'll find that out. So we should get sponsored by Hello Tushy.
Yeah.
So. But yeah. Yeah. I did talk about the mats. If anybody locally wants some Fuji mats, hit me up. They're $119 a mat. So that's cool. Come through because I know. some people, if you live with their grandparents or some weird thing like that, like, and you need mats at home, or you just want to teach your wife, or you want to roll around with your kids, get them. If you got a house or something, like I know Al, he bought a whole bunch off me, so that's cool. Shopfinishers.com, you can check that out. Yeah, man, I think that's pretty much all I got. Oh, JM's got a big match, combat jiu-jitsu match. So he just changed his opponent. So he's not fighting Spencer anymore. He's fighting another guy who fights in Bellator. So I forget the guy's name. He looks tough as shit, but JM's definitely got the drop on him. So I think JM's can definitely submit this guy. He's just gonna have to like maybe withstand a couple of initial like crazy attacks or something. And once the guy settles in, I mean, just the old school game on that guy will work, like electric chairs, rubber guard, heel hook, stuff like that. And the guy's going to be tough, though. Listen, everybody's fighting and everyone is signing up to do combat jiu-jitsu with strikes, is a gangster, So I can't wait for all these matches, man. That's what I'm saying. I just hope shit doesn't get shut down. I'm not going to quarantine when I come back. I might have to, like, do some kind of quarantining, but, like, if I do, I'm doing it right. I'm gonna get a penthouse in Bethlehem somewhere, just be up top. And I'm gonna be in a robe every day. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I'm gonna be like, "I'm quarantining, motherfucker." So if I have to do it for some odd reason, but I'm not signing any paperwork. Like guys are all worried, like you're gonna make us sign paperwork when we come back in to the state. I'm like, do you think?
I don't think any of that's going to be around.
No, that's.
I mean,
all
they
talk.
said that before when they were like, you need to quarantine, and then you guys came back, and I'm like, how was it? And you're like, we just got off the plane and left.
It's all talk. It really is all talk, people. And that's what I was saying to the guys. Like, is someone gonna or like two guys gonna come up and grab my wrist and force a pen into my wrist, and then make me sign a paper? It's not gonna happen. If they do, I'm gonna be like,
You know how much shit would have to change at the airport for them to set that up?
Yeah, forget that, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna walk right by it and just act like I don't speak English. I'm gonna be wearing a mask, and then, like I said, if I have to, I'm gonna be taking arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Breaking them over shoulders. Watch Terminator 2, guys. That's a good one. That one holds up, man. That's a sick movie.
I believe the first one holds up as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Terminator 2, man, it's got a whole bunch of sick guns. Got the lever action shotgun.
That's what Judgment Day with the big deal with Guns N' Roses doing the music
Slash.
for it. Yeah,
Slash
that big mini bike scene where he's chasing him in the tractor trailer. So good.
Yeah, and then Schwarzenegger was jacked out of his mind.
Yeah.
That's
why I love the Expendables. All those guys together.
Then the superheroes today, I saw that we posted that one.
That was funny.
The superheroes today look like a bunch of pussies compared to the guys from back in the day. They were all jacked on steroids, and just. It was crazy. So anyways, like I said, thanks. I have no idea what number this is. Might be like 52 or something like that. So let's keep this going. If anyone has any questions for me, if you guys want me to break down any jiu-jitsu matches, or like if you want to hear some MMA talk, or if you want to hear some stuff like that, that's cool. If you want to hear me talk more business stuff, that's cool too. But these will be like a half hour, 40 minutes just to get in and keep it going. So you can also, if you want to book us, you can get me on the gram or just hit me on zmaslany.com. We'll come teach jiu-jitsu in your basement. We don't give a shit. Let's keep it rolling. So I love you guys. Thank you. Peace.
I believe it.